All right, News Talk Podcast episode number 3 for Carguments. With this being the end of the year, I kind of wanted to just kind of do a year-end wrap-up since it's only me tonight. Hopefully we'll get back together with the other two guys next week and do a full podcast again. First thing I wanted to talk about is pretty much my first year doing this, starting a YouTube channel. When I started out, basically my only goal was to be able to just do car reviews, and I just had this idea that I wanted to do this. Is something I wanted to do for a while, didn't know how to start doing it, and I got in contact with a kind of popular YouTuber, Matt Fair from the Smoking Tire, and asked him how he got his start, and he basically told me he just did. So that's what I did. I just got started. It's been a lot of fun. Sometimes it's hard to get cars. It's hard to keep cars on the schedule because sometimes people have things come up and they cancel. And so just starting out, it's a little difficult, but I've had a lot of support and a lot of help, and I'm really thankful for all that. And I started the podcast here recently because I wanted to make a little bit longer of YouTube videos because kind of what I've heard with the algorithms of how YouTube is working, they want watch time. They want to see higher numbers of your watch time. So I figured if I start doing a podcast, I should make it a YouTube video as well, and hopefully I can capture both sides of it, having a podcast out there and then putting this on the channel for people to watch and listen to as well. So that's kind of where I'm at this year. This is my first year. I'm about to hit 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm like at 981 the last time I checked, and my goal is to hit them by the end of the year. So we got a few days left. I really hope I can hit that 1,000, and if I do, I will be doing a giveaway to a subscriber. So hopefully we can do that, and yeah, it'd be a big goal to reach within the first year. Also want to talk about my 3 favorite cars that I drove this year that I reviewed and featured on my YouTube channel. First one, I knew it would be good. I knew it would be a good vehicle, but I didn't realize how much I would like it. It was the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. I always looked at those, wanted to drive them, wanted to see what they were like, and I absolutely loved that SUV. It felt to me like something that if I had the means I would want to own because it would be a good family car and extremely fun to drive. It just was a lot of fun, and it sounded great, and yeah, it was just really nice inside. It was luxurious, but yet, like I said, just fun, and it just drove so impressively for a big, heavy SUV. And then my next one up was the APR-tuned Golf R with the DSG. I did that one not too long ago. That was a lot of fun to drive, and again, that one kind of came in as like, man, this is a great daily that once you throw the tune on it, it really makes it fun. And I would totally have one of those if I could, but I would probably do it in a manual. And honestly, I drove a manual one with the APR tune, but my GoPro took a dump on me, so I wasn't able to make that video for you guys, which really bummed me out. But the one thing they did do to that car is they put in an aftermarket shifter. It was a short throw shifter, and it stiffened it up. And a lot of other journalists complain about how soft and slushy the stock shifter feels, but I really liked it. It was super easy to drive. It made it feel refined, and it just, once they changed that shifter and put the short throw in, it made shifting more difficult. And I know that sounds silly, but it was like downshifting third to second took way more effort than I felt like it should have. So honestly, if I had one of those, I would leave the shifter stock, but go crazy with the other, like the tune, suspension, the big brake kit that was on this. The DSG one was incredible. That thing stopped so fast. And And then I think my obvious choice for my number one car this year was the 2013 Nissan GTR. That thing was incredible. It rocked my brain. I had a plan going in making that video, and it just wiped it all out. And I really struggled, honestly, with that video because I was so blown away by that car. It was so fun to drive. It just surprises me that some other journalists out there complain about that car because it feels like it doesn't have a soul. It's soulless. It's so good that it doesn't have any character to it. And I don't agree with it. And maybe if you spend more time with the car, you get that feeling. But it was just so fast and it did everything so well. It blew me away. So, I also want to talk about the car that surprised me the most this year. And honestly, it was the Dodge Durango RT. That was the first car I drove from Glenbrook Dodge, that Glenbrook Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership here in Fort Wayne. That was the first car I actually was able to do a video on from them. And I picked the Durango because I thought they looked good, and I figured that's kind of like an easy way into a dealership. If you don't go for something that's a crazy sports car, they're going to take you seriously. And I really, really enjoyed that Durango. It felt like such a good family car, and it handled really well for such a big 7-passenger SUV. And in that video, I said, "Why is an SUV fun?" And I truly felt that way. That Durango really surprised me. It sounded great. It handled great for an SUV, and the far rear seats actually were decent. I could fit back there and be actually kind of comfortable. So that car for me is a really, really good all-rounder for someone with kids and someone who might need to take a few adults with them and their children. Moving on to plans for next year. I have plans to go to the Chicago Auto Show, so I hope to bring you guys a lot of content from that. It'll be a fun trip. I actually, as soon as I get the press packet, I'll definitely be 100% sure that I was told I was accepted for press passes, but I'm waiting for that press kit in the mail. So I'm really excited about doing that. I've already got quite a few people wanting me to do follow-ups. I have a couple guys that I did reviews, or I featured them on my channel, like the Saab and the Focus that I did. Both those guys wanted to do follow-ups in the spring. And I have a couple other people here that are wanting me to feature their car in the spring. So I'm really looking forward to that. I hope to get through this winter, maybe doing some SUVs and pickup trucks, and see what I can't get my hands on. Right now I don't have anything in the books, which is kind of a bummer, but I really want to thank all the dealerships that have helped me out this year. I have a list here, so forgive me for not making some eye contact with the camera, but I want to read it off and not miss anybody. Evans Toyota, they gave me the first car that I did, was that Tacoma pickup. Vorderman Volkswagen has been extremely supportive. They've done a lot with me. Don Ayers Honda, Dreammakers Automotive. Those guys have been super supportive, and for some reason, every video I've done for them, it just hasn't performed very well, and it really bums me out because those have all been really awesome cars. I mean, I did a Lotus Elise, and even that GTR video, it only has like, I think 300 views, and I really love that car. Glenbrook Chrysler Dodge and Jeep, their videos have pretty much done the best so far. I've gotten the most views out of all together if you put all of them together. So big thanks to those guys. Tompkinson BMW, Infinity of Fort Wayne, and I really want to thank all the people who have let me feature their personal cars on my channel as well. So without all these people, I really wouldn't have any decent content. So I'm really, really thankful to everybody who has supported me and let me drive and review their cars. Going forward with videos, the one video I thought was going to do really well too, that Golf All Track, I actually had time with that to drive it, then sit down and write out kind of a script, and I really liked how that video came together. I think it really had a much better flow to it, and going forward I hope to be able to do that as much as possible with all the new vehicles I get my hands on. So I'm growing here, and I hope you guys grow with me and bear with me as I go through these growing pains of learning this process of just doing it. So this is me just getting started. I still, I started in March, so it hasn't been a full year yet. So I really hope to, with every video, get just a little bit better each time. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys on the podcast for listening in. To watch the GTR video, hopefully I can put up a little thing to click right here. And then if you want to go to that APR tuned Golf R video, I'll put that right down here. So please don't forget to subscribe. Really want to hit those 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And thanks a lot, guys, and have a great day.